got divorced after 19
years.
years. You just say one day, God just say,
yeah.
Like when I say, May 7th is the day when you
Yes.
after 19 years.
19 years. I knew I should have left earlier. I knew my child that was no longer in love with me. I knew it. But, you know,
you said you think he fell out of love at year 12.
Yeah.
So why did you stick around 7 more years?
My parents, go figure. My father, he's a reverend. Mommy's a reverend. They're like encouraging, and it gets better. And Daddy told me, oh, you know, men we usually take long to mature. That's what Daddy said. I said, Daddy, how long? Daddy said, Lord, Sandra, all up to 20 years. He told me that. My father told me that year 12. And I was like, okay, let me hang out till year 20.
Yeah.
But year 19, it was too much. I remember the moment I knew that this was it, when derogatory terms were thrown at me that I think no human female should hear. And I realized, okay, it's gone, it's done.
But also your Paris trip was quite revelatory.
Yes.
Yes. You were supposed to have met your hubby in Paris.
Oh, yes. And I was called a couple of days before that there was something that prevented that, something that came up. But I noticed that a couple of days later, he was in Paris. And I was like, what are you doing in Paris? And I canceled my flight and all these things. And those times you don't get refunds, Simone, okay? You know, only to find out that he actually went to Paris with somebody else, which I found out years after. And that was amazing.
Doc, you know what you told me on the phone? You say you don't remember one bun-free day in your 19th
I don't.
No, honest to God, you don't remember one bun-free day?
Not one. Not one
So you love Easter?
day.
Not one?
Yeah.
But you stuck it out because...
But I didn't know of many of the... Do you understand? But in retrospect, when all the story came out, I didn't have one bun. I mean, like, I always knew there was something off, you know, the late nights and stuff like that. But I never had one, even my wedding day.
No way, Dr. Swayze.
Way, Simone.
Way?
Way. Even the morning of my wedding day. But this I found out years after. Even the morning of my wedding day.
What does that do to you when you find out? Or by that time you had already gone, so it didn't matter. You gave yourself one day to cry.
Yeah, one full day. And I bawled the entire day.
On the roadside?
I bawled. All right, let me get up. Got to bawl it now.
And then after that one day of crying, what you did the next day
went to work.
Blew my mind. Not only did you go to work, you wrote a list of what you wanted in your next partner?
Yes.
But how?
Because, you know, I'm a marrying type of girl. I like one burners.
So having been burnt, you didn't even like say, this is not for me?
No, because I didn't own it. I didn't own it. Because it was happening, it happens to so many women around the world, and men too, can we add that?
Yes.
That I didn't take it personally. I just said, okay, well, let me go find mine then. And I said, this time I'm going to write down what I need for in the next month. I wrote tall, handsome, fit, well endowed.
God bless you. Yes.
Kind, hardworking, protective, and a few other things in terms of being a gentleman. And I wrote, you know, love me more than I love myself. Yeah. And I mean, one day I'm going to show him the list, but he really, I don't know why, but
it's that kind of love that gets you weepy. It's weepy love. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's something to being intentional, because not only did you train your mind and write your list, but you prepared yourself in a way that was, I don't know anybody who's ever done that. Like, you stripped yourself down to your core. What did you do?
I changed my entire life. Even physically, I stopped wearing makeup, bald my head.
That's when you cut the hair off?
That's when I cut the hair off.
Stop wearing jewelry?
Stop wearing jewelry, makeup, toes, nails,
celibacy.
Everything. Celibacy for a year. And I was like, you know, my next husband is going to love me. Beer, as they come. And, you know, I committed more to the act of just being grateful every day to be alive, and meditating, thanking God for all my traumas and what they have taught me, and read a lot. I read a lot. Oh my God, that year I read so many books, listened to so many podcasts. I still do. And I said, I'm going to just love me. I divorced from friends that weren't really friends, and
You audited your life. And
audited my life. I clean shop. And I looked at my values and how I wanted my life to be, and then I started choosing friends. I started re-engaging one by one.
But look what came into your life after that.
Yeah.
That's instructive for all of us, folks,
Yeah.
I think. Intentional. When you're intentional.
You have to be intentional.
Things happen. There's a lesson in there for all of us as well. 5 years into your second marriage, you are very happy.
Yes.
But it's work.
A lot of work.
And the important thing is that you said after the first marriage, you actually had to stop and introspect to see what
Correct.
What part you had played.
Correct.
In the
Because I
and you
did
realized
play
some things
a role.
about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized I wasn't nurturing as I needed to be. And I now believe that a very important part of the female in relationships is to actually nurture their partner. And I was very career-driven, and I thought that that could sustain everything else. It didn't. And I ignored the red signs. I ignored the red flags, sorry. And I don't think I was as attentive as I should have been. That's just the truth.
That's very self-aware.
I wasn't great.
But now you are?
No, I think I am becoming a great wife.
It's a job,
Yes, it's a job. I have to get up every day and think, how can I serve my love, And I know he thinks the same. And I have to be humble, respectful of his position in a relationship. He's my leader. He's my counselor. I have to submit when I need to submit. And I'm always there for him, and he's always there for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And
the only voice that really matters to me is the voice of God. Then comes the voice of my husband, and then comes the voice of myself and my husband. And of course, I'm always introspecting. I am totally, fantastically happy with being imperfect. I have faults. I do errors, and I make up for it, and I forgive myself and move on. I give myself a lot of grace. I stay out of people's business, and I think one of my purposes is just to be kind to my fellow human beings and show them love in ways that I can. And it's very liberating.
Our audience is mostly female who are stuck in that vortex of fear.
Yes.
And other people's opinions of them.
Yes.
And,
yes.
I would love for you to just give a word to those women who are watching.
Those opinions don't matter. They seriously don't. And you have to live based on the conversation you have with yourself. And if you need to have a conversation with your therapist, do that too. Because I have a therapist.
What does that conversation with yourself look like?
What is the truth? You're always seeking the truth, not the facts, the truth. What exactly is happening? What I'm feeling, where does it come from? From a good place, from not so good place? What is my motivation? Did I do the right thing? You have to have some deep, honest conversation with yourself and understand that if you've made an error, it does not mean that you are a person of error. It means that that was an action. Right. That was an event.
It doesn't define you.
It doesn't define you. It does not define you. Your failures don't define you. The wrong bangs don't define you. When people break up with you, that doesn't define you either. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not worthy of love, worthy of care, worthy of magnificence and glory. What it means is that season has passed, and you need to welcome the next season.
Absolutely. Take the lessons.
Take the lessons. Take the lessons.